Hello everybody, welcome back. Just waiting for the stream thing to catch up and actually let me know that I'm live and all that wonderful stuff, which it isn't doing. It's taking its time to do that. I'll just check on this page, one sec. There we go, we're live. Right, let me just jump in. Actually, I best jump in the thingy chat now. A minute. There we go. It's posted in the group chat because I know some of the guys get the links from there. Right, let me grab this keyboard. Oh, I've left it turned on. Hopefully, battery don't die. Got them fancy wireless things. In fact, what I can do, because my phone don't need charging for a little while, plug my phone charger into it. There you go. You hack the system, Chris. Right, so I'm on a little bit earlier, purely so I can go through the tables. I didn't really do it last week because other things happened, so. We'll go through the tables. We're quite a way through the season now, so we should be able to get a decent idea as to where people are. Obviously last week was a bit of a weird one because we had Red Bull Ring in the wet and dry. We had changeable conditions. Some teams had more success with that than others. For example, a couple of the Mercedes teams really struggled to get the cars tuned in for both setups. We saw the Aston Martin resurgence of Britsberger. I actually sort of looked at it before and thought that doesn't look very happy, but in the race absolutely stormed its way through. Some good drives, especially from people like Slow Seamus in the Audi. The Audi really worked there. And we have Roving Island back tonight in the NSX. He missed last week, so he's back. Lucky Bucky's got a new gamer tag. Who else we got in the room? There we go. Anyway. So we'll jump into the points in a moment. Let me just get Potter's post up. He does send the links. Where does he put it? Oh, Tate is in pro as well. Yeah, so just before I get underway, I guess, I will let you know that the pro lobby, there is two lobbies to this, of course. The pro lobby is being streamed tonight by Dark Smoker. I can't find the Phil G. How you doing? I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. I'm trying to find the link to the tables. I can't find the bloody thing. View photos, videos. I wonder if they're in here. Oh, I think they are. Let's have a look. So this is. Yep. I have found them. I have got them. Cutler, the absolute diamond geezer. Yes, we'll just run through the tables in a minute, then we'll get on track. I'll introduce the race. The race, of course, as you can see, is Suzuka, a track we are relatively well accustomed to in real life and in GT Sport. It is the host venue for the Japanese Grand Prix. Took over from Fuji when Fuji lost the rights to it. Suzuka, of course, a very, very technical circuit. Lots of twists, turns, lots of opportunities to make mistakes. Drivers are going to have to tread carefully around this circuit because it will bite you hard if you try to overstep your mark a little bit, or maybe if you just try to push a little bit on cold tyres. You will soon find yourself out of grip. So in terms of points, then, your current championship leader going into this round is the one and only Duco. In the Mercedes, he is on 196 points. He's 39 points clear at the top. He is ahead of Rob Scott in the Corvette. In P3 is Britsberger. Britsberger's on 149 points, just 1 point ahead of Mr. Cutler. Cutler's on 148 in P4. Then Diablo in the Mustang, he's P5, our Australian friend. He's on 143 points, and 13 points behind him in the NSX is Phil G. Phil, who's had a terrible run of luck sometimes in these races. just hasn't had the rub of the green a lot of the time, and we know he's got the pace. So is tonight Phil's night? We'll see. Sean 84, one of my drivers of the season so far, P7 for Sean. In the McLaren, 114 points for him. Then MRC Buddy, 114 points as well. Tied for P7, but he officially is an 8th. Lucky Bucky, P9 in the Mercedes, 105 points. And D-Dot rounds out your top 10. He's got 80 points to his name, but D-Dot has really struggled. The Chevrolet team have really struggled to get that car dialed in at any circuit, really. It's been a very treacherous time for that team. Then we've got Sonic Racer in 11th in the Jaguar, 75 points for him. Couple of points ahead of Slow Seamus and the Audi. Some good points last week for Seamus, 67 points for the one and only Audi entry into this season. Roving Island, who missed last week, 64 points for himself. Now level with Gwyn on 132 points. Gwyn's in 14th, and in 15th is Quinn on 45 points. So that's your lot. If anyone typed a message in while I was going through that, there's no way I can see it because I can't have two screens open on my phone at the same time. So apologies if you've messaged and I've missed it. In terms of what you're in for tonight, well, as you can tell, it's Suzuka. It's a 50-minute race. So with this one, I'm just reading it through now. So I've got a 10-minute qualifying session, then a 50-minute race. There are no pit windows or mandatory pit stops tonight, but there is a very stringent tyre rule in place for the endurance format of this competition. And that is that each team, once the qualifying session has elapsed, all their tyres are taken away and replaced with one set of softs, one set of mediums, and one set of hard compounds. They must use all three compounds in the race, and they are not allowed to use any more than those three compounds. So tyre failure, puncture, anything like that, you know, tough, I'm afraid. And it just means you've got to really mix it up with your strategy. What you tend to see in these endurance races, if you let them, drivers will spend all the time on the soft tyre, even if it's worn, because it's still quicker than a medium or a hard. But this rule means the drivers will have to nurse that soft a little bit more, because they will want to get the laps out of it, because the less laps they do on the mediums and the hards, the more effectively the faster they'll be over the race, if that makes sense. But we'll kind of keep track of that as we go. I do have a habit of losing roughly where we are as things go through, so I do tend to get to a certain point and forget who's ran the soft and the hard and all that sort of stuff. But I'll be very surprised if we see anyone out on the soft unless they qualify near the top. We've seen it happen before, where drivers have used up their soft and they've just been stuck in traffic, and then yeah, you're wasting a very fast tyre. You might as well wait for yourself to be in a bit more clear air and just take advantage of that. So we're going to get underway with qualifying in a minute. James and Associates. Evening, Chris. Quack quack. All this being done in association with not only Team Oliver Racing and Martin Oliver Racing, but with a foundation called We Are Driven, something set up by the sim racing community to drive awareness, funding, fundraising, however you want to call it, to charitable organisations. There has been a line of t-shirts released as well. Mine came today. I've not worn it yet, I've got to be honest. Don't know why, just haven't. And there is a new one released. The James and Associates comment just reminded me to it. It's got a duck on it. So Bob Bristow, if you're watching, you need that shirt, mate. You need that shirt in your life, brother. All right. Turn my keyboard on one sec. Right, let's have a look at who's out on track then. So Duco is out on track getting some practicing. Diablo's here as well. Snazzy livery for Diablo. Sonic Racers here in the Jag as well. So we've seen Duco, Rob Scott, championship contender in the Chevrolet. D-Dot Looks like he might have been doing practice starts. That of his just left his handbrake off. Quinn in the Mercedes, Roving Island in the Honda NSX, Britsberger in the Aston Martin, and Lucky Bucky in the Mercedes. There may be a couple of drivers that aren't. Yeah, there's a couple. There's Slow Shames and Phil G and Cutler are all there. So yeah, getting ready to get underway, I think, with qualifying. So if you're watching this, come and say hello. Let me know who you're supporting tonight, who you're cheering on, what potentially your predictions might be as well. Suzuka is a track that tends to favour the handling cars. So the short wheelbases like the Honda and the McLaren, in theory, should go well here. But the Mercedes, Mercedes is a bit of a jack of all trades, so you can never rule the Mercedes out of anything. The Chevrolets might struggle a little bit. Raging alcoholic. Is that what the RA means, Lucky Bucky? Raging alcoholic racing. Right. So waiting for another restart. We'll have a tyre wear restart in a second, then we'll get underway with quali. 15 minutes it says on there. I'm sure I think he said 10, but 15 minutes it is. Waiting for another restart. Some drivers are headed out, but I'm sure Cutler's thing says second restart. Sean will be late. Oh, okay. Yes, Twiggy. Yeah, it's a bit weird because, like, oh God, I can't even go to track now. I'm seeing out the season, so I'm for those that are watching on YouTube or don't know what I'm referring to. I've announced today that I'll be stopping doing commentary after the season, just to give myself a break. I've done it for quite a while now. It's quite time consuming, and it's got to the point where it stopped being fun. It felt like a job, if that makes sense. And yeah, I just thought it was time to back out of doing it voluntarily before I sort of succumb to effects of just overworking myself. So yeah, I've got my own racing. I've got a full-time job, full-time custody of a 7-year-old kid. You know, it just does get quite a lot sometimes. So yeah, I'd announced that the hosts have known for a while. I wanted to give league organisers and hosts a bit of a heads up to it, so that it wasn't just suddenly an announcement. Getting commentators is hard to come by, I appreciate that. I felt guilty and horrible all day. Believe me when I say that, I've felt really bad all day. Because I do feel like I'm letting people down, but I think it's just, I've got to be selfish sometimes, and this is one of those occasions, you know. If I were to carry on and you know, work myself too hard, then you know it would get to a point where I'd hate it, and I'd just end up packing it all in, and I don't want to get to that stage. I'm talking about it like it's me done forever, but in realistic terms, do I see myself coming back at some point? Yeah, I do. You know, I just don't want to commit to anything because it's not fair. Yeah, that's right, James. It's a tough one because I do genuinely buzz off like the stream chat and like the comments afterwards about how people like it. I'm not going to name drop people, but there are drivers that weekly private message me and let me know, and I get a lot of feedback from it, which I value all of it, but you know, at the same point, in terms of like things in my life that are a priority, it's got to be pretty low. I can't over prioritise it over like my actual job and stuff, so yeah, I just want to stop while it's starting to get not fun, and then hopefully pick it back up at some point. But we shall see. We shall see what happens. I'm fully expecting to miss it because, like I said to the guys in the group chat, genuinely, I actually just buzz off the comments that I get left, and the fact that people enjoy it, because that's why I do it. I do it to add value to other people. Anyone that watches the streams and videos know that I don't ask for a penny for doing it. Never have. I've actively discouraged being paid. Smoke will tell you that. We've been offered money for jobs before, and I've turned it down. Just because that's not why I do it. I do it for the community, I guess, which is why I feel freaking guilty at the fact that I'm backing out of it. But yeah, I could, Twiggy. Yeah, I could. And that will happen. You know, when I race on Fridays and Tuesdays, I'll probably stream my point of view. So the channel will stay up, and it'll be a lot less active, obviously. And I'll finish out the season, of course. But yeah. Alright, hot laps coming in then. Britsburg is going to be the first one to set a bounding time. He's going to set us a 58.5. Gwyn, in fact, I'll put the sideboard up because it's easy to keep track of times that way. So we'll wait for a few cars to pass, and then we'll get an idea of who's got the cojones to max out a lap here at Suzuka. It's currently Britsburg by a tenth of a second. There we go, it's coming up now. There's a few cars still to pass, so let's have a look. So Britsburg currently with a 58.5, Dablo 58.6 in P2. Duco right back up there then after his disappointing time out last time. I think he gave his mechanics the hairdryer treatment. 59.1 for him. Cutler's just poked himself into 4th with a 59.7. So another Mercedes doing quite well here at Suzuka. Who'd have thought it? Sonic Racer though in the Jag, 59.8 for Sonic Racer. It's a good performance. Roving Island, P6 at the minute, 201.1. Then you got Gwyn in 7th, 201.9, and then D. Lucky Bucky, Slow Seamus, Quinn, and Buddy have yet to set a time. Phil G and Rob Scott, I understand, are serving qualifying bans. I understand that. Just draw your attention to something ever so slightly. Now, looking at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, the tyre wear indicator. This Britsburg is on his 3rd lap on this set of tyres, and they are already showing signs of underperforming. In fact, they're 3 taps slower this lap than they were on lap 2. So think about that in the race. We're going to be going around here for 50 minutes, and they're only going to get to use 1 set of these soft tyres. So they need to really maximise the opportunities they're setting on there. As we see, Roving Island takes the escape road. Britsburger in the pits, he's going to have to stick some fresh rubber on there. Was anyone setting fire to the timing screens? Not particularly. Gwyn was improving. He's gone in the pits though. So, yeah, yet to see quite a few times flying in. D-Dot's going to be the next one to set us a time. Oh, we get it all squishy there coming out of Casio Triangle. But it is going to be a 2 minutes point 3. Good enough for P6 at the minute for D-Dot. Next one set a time, Mr. Lucky Bucky, the raging alcoholic. We'll see just how many shots of tequila he's had once he comes across the line at 59.8. He's relatively sober for the time being, Lucky Bucky. It's a good time, 59.8 for him, good enough for mid-table. Slow Seamus next across the line in the Audi. 2 minutes point 2 for him, good enough for P7, just behind Lucky Bucky. So again, a good time for the Audi. I take no money for any work, I do. Yeah, well, I never started doing the stream. I never did it for that, mate. It's never what it was about. Like, and that's not me throwing shade at people who do it for money, because, as we've seen, it is a genuine income source if you want it to be that way. Anyone that thinks you can put a microphone on, talk and suddenly get loads of money your way, it does not work like that. You have to put in the time, the effort. It's quite draining streaming. It can take a lot out of you, because you've got to be like, you've got to be an entertainer for that amount of time. I'm not that guy. I'm not a D-Dot. I'm not someone who can be that. I can't match his energy. and he's I've been watching D4 for a while, and like seriously, if you've not watched his streams, go and do it. Like you genuinely just buzz off his energy when he's streaming. So yeah, that's the sort of streamer that could make money out of it. I'm not that dude, so I've never did it for that. Alright then, so Britsberger, fresh rubber for Britsberger, so he's going to go around for another flyer. 20,000 euros, so about 15p. Pay me in duck hugs, mate. That's what I need. Nah, this is the thing. I'm not saying I'll overcome my desire to leave if someone came and paid me money. That's not what I want. Like I said before, I've actively turned down money for doing it. It's not what it's about for me. Alright then. Kohler was on a better time, but is he on an outlap? Yeah, he is on an outlap. That's why he's setting better time, because I'm fresher tyres. So nothing flying just yet. Now with these cars, what we do tend to see, and I've said it in every single qualifying session that we have seen so far, that while these cars have been going around for the 10 minutes they've been burning fuel away. Fuel, as a liquid, weighs roughly kilo a litre. You burn away, as these cars are burning away, they've got rid of about 45 kilos worth of fuel so far. That's like having a sort of an average sized child just sat in the boot of your car suddenly taken out. It has quite an impact on performance. That will mean we should see the lap times start to tumble once the drivers have acclimatised to that and got that weight out of the car, and the car suddenly has a bit more grip. It's a bit more nimble out of the corners. You have a little bit more lateral traction because you've not got as much weight to push with the tyres. Suddenly you start setting purple and blue sector times, and we start to see the times fall. For the time being though, Britsberger's not improving on his time. He's 200ths of a second down from it, so he needs to have an absolute blistering Casio triangle to improve on the time he was setting before, which is the current pole time of a 58.5, just 1/10 ahead of second place Diablo. Yeah, he doesn't improve that time round. Duck hooks. I'm up for that, mate. I'm up for that. We'll get that sorted out, my friend. Yeah, it's got to be fun. It's got to be fun. And I have had fun streaming. Like, I have had fun doing these commentaries. It's not been as good lately, and it's felt more like a chore. You know. Alright then. So who's yet to show up for qualifying? So obviously Phil G and Rob Scott can't. Sean, this is his first flying lap now. Let's see what he's got to bring to the table. A 59.9 for the McLaren. It's not bad, P8. He was quite close with the Mercedes though. So Sean driving for Digital Car Culture. The number 22 McLaren. Has had a bit of a mixed season, but he's had some great drives mixed in there as well. This track, one that should quite suit the McLaren's driving style. It's very nimble. It's not the fastest car, but it's very point and shoot, that thing. So if Sean can get that car working, you should start to see some times come off that. We've got Buddy out as well. Now Buddy's another driver that we know can deliver. The Mustang, as proved by Diablo, can be a capable car around here. It's a bit more of a power-driven car than a handling car. Obviously it's American, so handling isn't their forte. But the Mustang obviously tuned for racing, so a little bit more of an ability within it to do that. Britsberger, I think he's seen the best of that set of tyres. Whether he can get in now, which he's going to do, he's going to try and get in and get a fresh set on, get an outlap in. He's got enough time, just. It might be a bit cut and shut before he gets across. So if you get to the finish line before 15 minutes, the next lap you can finish. It's very nip and tuck. Now Diablo set a purple sector 1, a personal best sector 2, and a purple sector 3. So Diablo at the minute is on track to knock Britsberger off his perch at the top here at Suzuka. 158.5 to beat. Diablo's time it's a 157.9. Massive improvement there by the Australian as he jumps to the top of the leaderboard by nearly 7/10 of a second. Britsberger, as we've seen, did come into the pits. He's out now. He's going to get round, should get round in time to set another lap. And he's going to have one. He's going to have one chance, and he's got to throw everything at that lap. Of course, the car is a little bit lighter now. He's got rid of nearly 55 kilos worth of fuel. Duco's another driver that could arrive to the party. The problem is this lap, as you might be able to see on the screen if you've got the definition turned up. The graphic there telling us that his tyres have seen better days. So he'll have to hustle that car, and I don't think the Mercedes, this isn't a Mercedes track in terms of GT3 form. It's not the fastest car here. If there was a BMW M6 here, that'd be really strong. Yeah, Duco's way off his time. MRC Buddy though does go 4th. There's a load of people pulled into the pits. I think they have. They may have. Let's just see Buddy's lap out. I don't think this is going to be an improvement. No, it isn't. It's going to be slower, to be fair. 59, 2 minutes. Yeah, it's going to be slower. Yeah, it's a Glenfield Robs. Yeah, so some drivers are just going to have to. I was going to say Britsberger's back on pole, but Diablo must have gone into the pits to change his tyres. So we won't want to start on the soft compound. So Britsberger now on his hot lap, definitely going to be one to watch. Duco, he's on a hot lap, but yeah, as we've seen before, the tyres that he's on are not the best. Lucky Bucky coming across to to finish his lap. Evening, Johnny. I am alright, mate. I'm alright. Let's see if Lucky Bucky can improve. He does improve. Massive lap by Lucky Bucky there. A 59.1, takes 7/10 off his lap. And he's going to get some practice starts in now, I think, as well. The Mercedes driver just absolutely delivering like a postman here in the last gas at Suzuka. What a lap there by Lucky Bucky. Obviously necked a few tequilas before taking that lap down. Sean Outlaw not going to improve. Slow Seamus not going to improve either. D-Dot not improving. Roving Ireland, don't know if he got across the, he did get across the lap in time. What am I saying about? Duco's out now as well. For me, it's all about this man. What was his sector times like for the first 2 sectors? He was a personal best sector 1, slightly down sector 2. Only slightly low, only by like a 10th. And now we come to the part of the track where the Aston Martin can really sing, unleash that V12 engine all the way down the back straight, through 130R and then through the Casio Triangle. He's only technically got 3 corners to navigate now. 130R in these GT3s is just a slight little lift. He is up on his time, but he needs this last sector to be mighty. Getting a little bit of a toe there from the Honda up front. Good exit from the Casio Triangle, just runs enough for the curb, tucks it nice up close to the wall on the right. It's not going to be a pole time, but it is going to be an improved one. He takes 600ths of a second off his time. But your pole sitter, ladies and gentlemen, currently parked in the sands, looking at a marshal's post, is Diablo. Massive lap from Diablo. Anyone else improving? Let's have a look. Got to be honest, wasn't looking like it. A couple of drivers are in there getting tyre changes and stuff. So yeah, like I said, I wouldn't expect anyone to start on the soft. Maybe Diablo or Duco might, as a risk. They might choose to do that. But if I was in this race, I wouldn't start on the soft. I'd start on the medium. I'd save the soft till the end. Take the medium as far as you can get it without losing too much time. You're going to be in traffic anyway. Get the hard for as few laps as you can feasibly get away with doing it. And then softs, 20-minute stint there or thereabouts, maybe a little bit more if you can stretch it, I don't know. Yeah, we shall see anyway. We shall see what the guys decide to do. You do tend to see that's how it pans out. The teams and the strategists will have been working through the week. And the track conditions here at Suzuka, it's quite cool. That'll help tyre degradation. It's not overly warm. So tyre degradation shouldn't be any worse than it would normally be. So we shouldn't see too much of an effort with that. It's got to be down to the setup. We tend to run quite high downforce at Suzuka. Because you need it. It's all about your corner speed. So that will obviously mean the cars, the air is pushing the car into the ground more, thus a little bit more in terms of tyre wear. So we've got a little bit of a break. This will see the drivers then just get acquainted with the track conditions. I'm surprised we're not seeing more practice start. Guys just parked up. Maybe talking to their engineers about protocols, strategies, and now that we know where they're going to be starting on the grid, will their engineers be saying maybe you need to consider doing a lower fuel map for a few laps, or do you need to maybe think about how you approach certain turns given that you're going to be in dirty air, etc. Again, this is all stuff the teams will be going through with their drivers now. D-Dot, hope he has a better race tonight. He's not had a great season by his own admission. He's just struggled to get this Corvette, especially as we see him testing the barrier integrity there on the exit of 130R. It's the front end of that Chevrolet that's been the issue. Getting that car tuned to turn has proved to be a problem. Now the thing is, some drivers, and Rob Scott might be a case in point, some drivers like an understeery car. They drive better like that. I'm probably pretty similar to D-Dot in that I probably react a little bit better to oversteer. I like my front end to do what I ask it to do at all times. The back, I'm quite happy catching it, whereas the front, if I turn the wheel, I kind of expect the front to go roughly where it's meant to. So yeah, D-Dot is choosing to get some starts in. Quinn's practicing starts on the back straight. Let's just watch him as he does that. Of course, the start line at Suzuka is slightly downhill, ever so slightly. If you let the handbrake off it, just roll. So practicing on the back straight here after the Degners doesn't make a fat lot of sense, I'll be brutally honest with you, because it's not going to be representative of what you're actually going to get on the start line. But at least you can test like bike points and stuff like that. So I guess it does hold value that way. What a lap though from Diablo. Putting that Mustang top of the tree. Britzberg is second, having a great season in the Aston Martin, the one and only Aston Martin we've got. Of course, that car largely retired now for GT Racing in favour of the newer version. The older version, number the V12, certainly has a place in a lot of people's hearts. We've got a double Mustang, we've got a Mercedes second row. Not your favourite track? Yeah, mate, it's one of my favourites. But when people say they don't like it, I completely get why. Because it bites. My only advice, dude, is just, if you know you can need to take like a little bit of speed out of a corner, just do it. Over the course of the race, it'll help. Because you don't take too many risks, basically. You don't need to. It's a 50-minute race. Other people will fall off. Right then, here we are, Suzuka, 50 minutes. Team Oliver Racing GT3 League. We are ready to go then. It's a very short run down to turn 1, which immediately blends into turn 2. Manual starts for all here, no traction control, no start assist. We get away well. Britsberger does bog down a little bit of wheel spin coming off the line. That's going to help the Mercedes, who typically get a very good start then, as Britsberger is immediately surrounded by Cutler, who got a flyer of a start and leaps into the lead, then even ahead of the Mustang of Diablo, potentially even missed a shift there. We have replay marking it, and if nothing else happens we can go back and have a look at it, but I have a gut feeling that stuff's going to go down. So we'll wait and see, but I'm intrigued to see what happened with Cutler's and Diablo's starts, because both of them seem to get weird ones. We go through the S's then for the first time of asking. There is one car in the background that's struggling, that is Quinn, potentially being off the track already down at turn 2. He's quite a way back. Quite a way back off the pack as we go through the Degners for the first time of asking. Everyone's seeming to make it through there all in one piece. Roving Island and D-Dot going side by side. Oh, we've got a Jaguar that's hit into someone else. Who's that? That was D-Dot potentially, was it? People are turning each other around here at the back. Come on boys, let's get through this one. A little bit of damage there for Gwyn's car. D-Dot's got a little bit of damage as well. He's nursing rear suspension damage. We can go back and have, yeah, quite a few cars carrying little bits of damage here. Gwyn's got rear end damage. So it looks to have been a bit of an incident there going down to the hairpin. Oh, we've got Stuco off down at Spoon. So sorry, we're not going to get to have a look at the start, because that's what I want to go and have a look at, is just what happens to Duco. Where is he? He's in 8th now. So he was following Cutler down into Spoon, so obviously contesting for the lead. Carried too much speed in by the looks of it. There was a little bit of side-by-side contact, but I don't want to sit here and say that was the causing factor, because I don't actually think it was. I think it looked like Duco was potentially carrying a little bit too much speed into that corner, so he's got it all to do again now, down in P8. 7 seconds adrift of where he was a moment ago. Leading the way though at the top of the tree is Mr. Cutler. He's just ahead of Britsberger. Both running, most cars running medium tyres. Actually, I've already had a quick peek through. Diablo also on the medium tyres, has recovered a little bit of his pace from the start. Then Buddy up to 4th, Sonic Racer in 5th. He's had a good start, but he's on the soft tyre. So Sonic Racer on the tyre that is the fastest. He needs to be taking advantage of that, and he doesn't want to be hanging around to make these moves. He needs to make these moves fast. Then you've got Sean, he's also on the soft tyre. He's got some work to do in this opening stint. Then you've got Duco on the mediums. Because of that skid, potentially flat spotted those tyres a little bit. Oh, he's got damage to his car now. Duco, unfortunately, that's just a bit of a horror show for the Mercedes driver. 2 weeks in a row. What happened here? Did he just catch a little bit? It's hard to say, because it looked like he had that nice and under control, to be very honest with you. It definitely looked, from my perspective, like, yeah, the lines were good, the speed was good, seemed to have good car control and attitude, but it just bit him on the exit of Degner 2. That one is a little bit of a perplexity. We might try and get hold of the team after the race and just find out if something failed on the car, perhaps. It doesn't look like it. Looks like it's sitting nicely, so who knows. At this stage, really hard to tell. Britsberger, though, a really brave move going down to the Casio Triangle, hasn't paid off for the Aston Martin driver as he goes off the circuit. Right back in the path of Diablo. Diablo won't be too happy about that, I'll be honest, because he re-entered right ahead of him. Let's go and have a look. So Britsberger goes off the track. It could be argued though, Britsberger couldn't really go anywhere else. It's really narrow there. Yeah, it might. It's a hard one. I mean, if that gets investigated by the stewards, they'd struggle to come up with a decision. But we'll see. Fortunately, no damage for either vehicle by the looks of it, so they both live to fight another day. All getting caught now by Sonic Racer and Sean. Now Sonic Racer and Sean running the soft compound tyre, so not in a race with these guys at the minute directly. As far as strategy goes, not really in the same race at the minute. But I don't think Cutler, Britsberg and Diablo are going to be giving up track position to anybody. Buddy is the car out there on hard compound tyres. So he's getting the slow tyre out the way right at the start. So he's going to be like a rocket towards the end of this thing, you watch. Roving Island out in the mediums, P7 at the minute for Roving Island. Just kept his nose clean, to be honest. He's done a good job. Lucky Bucky's fallen from the race a little bit in that second lap, down in 8th now. Great qualifying session for Lucky Bucky, but unfortunately fallen down in the race. Rob Scott and Phil G, who had qualifying bans, both start on the hard tyre. So they are 9th and 10th respectively. Then you have Quinn in 11th, Gwyn in 12th. Gwyn, who's already told us he's not a fan of the track. Slow Seamus in 13th, D-Dot in 14th. He's been in to get that damage fixed. And Duco, who's also been in to get damage fixed. Obviously he's not changed his tyres though, which, like I say, he's only got 3 sets of tyres, sorry, to last him the entire race. So that pit stop is just made. Unfortunately he's not been able to double it up as like a strategic one. It's had to be to fix damage, which is unfortunate. Cutler though is still defending with all his might to Britsberger down the main straight. The Aston Martin in the straight line seems to have the edge in terms of actual pace. Run on board with the Aston Martin driver. He's getting attacked from behind as well by the mighty Australian and the American car. And Sonic Racer, who we saw a lap ago, had about the same distance gap. Now, Sonic Racer, I'll be honest, if he's going to make these tyres work in the nicest possible way, needs to be getting on with it. Needs to be giving Diablo something to think about on that soft compound tyre, because at the minute he's not really doing that. Sean as well could be in the same category as that. These guys are already starting to see a little bit of tyre wear coming in. Buddy on the hard a little bit, yeah, we're starting to see dregs of it, but I mean the graphics we've got don't always tell the full story. Watching the fight between Lucky Bucky and Roving Island though. Mercedes versus Honda, two very different concepts in terms of car aero design and how the chassis work. Mercedes more about its low down torque and grunt, and Honda more of a precision dart. Mercedes makes that move look quite easy there coming into Spoon. Lucky Bucky up to P7. Both on the same tyre. I'm going to be keeping an eye on Duco just to see what he can do. I mean, those tyres are pretty heavily flat spotted, so he's got to wear a little bit of the compound away. He'll be getting an awful vibration now in the cockpit. But once he's worn a little bit of the surface of the tyre away, that will ease. But that will have reduced the life of the tyre somewhat. We'll have already put it through quite a tremendous heat cycle, so going to have his work cut out in making those mediums last as long as he wants them to make, as we see Britsberger and Cutler yet again side by side through turn 1. Britsberger this time getting the move made. That took very, very heavy gentleman testicles in order to get that one working. Let me tell you, round the outside of turn 1 at Suzuka is not an easy move to make, and the top 4 suddenly are all concertina together within 8 tenths of each other. Separates 4 cars then. Very, very close racing here at the top, with still 40 minutes to go in this race. Of course, lots and lots still to happen in this one. Let's jump on board with Britsberger and just have a look at a driver's eye view of that move he made on Cutler just a moment ago then. So Cutler goes defensive round the inside. Britsberger though just brave on the brakes, just really gentle move, gentle work there on the brake. Does go a little bit deep now, that gives Cutler the opportunity to fight back, but when he's off, and we cut back to the action of the hairpin, and Britsberger's off the track. Now Cutler is waiting for him, so whether there was contact between the two drivers, I'm not sure. We can go back and have a look. Now that gives Sonic Racer a lifeline an absolute lifeline, because now he's only got one car between him and the leader of the race, and he's on the soft compound tyre. Sonic Racer, if you're listening, you need to get past Diablo quick as, because he's only going to be holding you up, my friend. He's got the fast tyres to take you. Right, let's go and have a look at what happened to Britsberger then. So in fact, we'll jump on board with Cutler. Cutler tried to avoid it, yeah. Cutler ran into the back of him, nothing malicious about it. Obviously Cutler waited for him, so the sportsmanship thing is there. The unfortunate thing is it has kind of... see Sonic Racer in the pits. Oh, he's got damage. He's got front end damage to his car, but I would say it's too early for a pit stop. I'll come back to that. So Diablo now set free at the top. So in the Mustang, 2 seconds clear. That has given Britsberger a bit of a rescue line though. He's only technically dropped a position. Not a lot of time has been lost by Britsberger. Cutler's been the loser out of all that one, because he's dropped a little bit more time, and he's now coming under pressure from Sean on the soft tyre. And for Sean in the McLaren, a car that in theory works better around here than the Mercedes will. All down to the... oh, as Cutler goes wide out the first Degnet. Tries to keep the car on track. Is he going to be able to stick it to the McLaren coming into the hairpin though? I think the sins of a lap ago caught up with Cutler there, and he just backed out of any potential move. Let's have a look at what happened to Cutler then. So Britsberger gets it on the gravel on the outside of sector 1. What happens? Oh, it's just dirty air. The front end just didn't turn in. So yeah, for Cutler just suffering a little bit of aero loss, and I may explain as we go through what I mean by that. Just have a little bit of a run through. This Sonic Racer thing has spun me out. He's gone on to the mediums now. Now, he just set his fastest lap of the race on the soft tyre. So why change it? That's a strange strategy call. I've got to be honest, it's a strange strategy call. Anyway, yeah, so what I meant with Cutler losing aero, these GT3 cars are essentially road cars with lots of sticky up bits on them to provide downforce. If you're running within a certain amount of time to a car ahead of you, the dirty air that's thrown off their car, and then you're running then in disturbed air, not clean air, your aerodynamic surfaces can't work as well, and you get what's known as aero wash. Now you saw that happen to Cutler. Sean got a really bad run there out of turn 2. Perhaps starting to feel his tyres a little bit, but his tyres should still be faster than Cutler's. That McLaren does not. At no stage of this race has that McLaren looked happy. And I'm not sure what to pinpoint that as. It's just not looked like it wants to be here. Doesn't seem to have the turning you'd expect, as we see Cutler go for that move then. Down into the hairpin yet again. Sean does concede that place, and that's Cutler back up to P3, but he has lost quite a bit of time now to Britsberger, hold him down. Second, Britsberger though isn't catching Diablo. Diablo's got a little bit of rear downforce, so that's your diffuser. To the rear of the car, we'll see if we can get a look at that. Not really, not with that camera angle. See if we can get in again here. Can't visibly see any damage. It's possibly underfloor damage, but yeah, essentially that will just be creating a little bit more rear drag, affecting his top speed potentially ever so slightly. So let's have a run through the order then. We are 15 minutes in, so it's Diablo leading the way at the top of the tree, P1, ahead of Britsberger in P2. P3 currently is Cutler, just ahead of Sean. Sean just ahead of Lucky Bucky. Lucky Bucky has been catching Sean at quite a rate. 201.0 his last race. Sean does peel into the pits, gets rid of those soft tyres. Roving Island then P5 now that Sean's pitted. Quinn will be promoted up to P6. Oh no, he won't, because he's going to pit as well. Sonic Racer now in P6. Slow Seamus 9th for Mr. Seamus, which is now 7th. Rob Scott 10th. He's got rid of his hard tyres already by the looks of things. Buddy on the mediums now, so he was on the hard tyres, you remember. Looks like he got rid of those on lap 5, so this will be a relatively long stint for Buddy. Sean now out of the pits in 10th, D-Dot in 11th but off the circuit. Looks like he's gone a little bit wide down into turn 1. Phil G coming up behind him, able to make a move past Phil G. He's now also on the medium compound tyre, has just set the fastest lap of the race as well on the mediums. So that NSX working well. It is in 11th, but he's already made a stop and he's still got the fastest tyre to come. D-Dot 12th for D-Dot. Duco 13th, has started making up some places then. He's one ahead of Quinn, who's now on the hard, and Gwyn is 15th and last on the mediums. So Britsburger's been catching Diablo quite quickly. The question in mind is, when do these guys on the mediums pit? In theory, the mediums are the tyre you want to stay on longer. They should hold their performance a little bit longer than the softs will, and they are generally a quicker tyre than the hard. So if these guys pit now, I'd be surprised. Oh, Diablo gets a massive lump of oversteer there coming out the final corner. It's going to give Britsburger a little bit of an invitation to come and have a bite of that American cherry. Is Britsburger close enough? I don't think he is. No, not close enough at this stage. So strategy is now starting to play a turn. Everyone that was on the softs to start with has come in and got rid of that tyre before 8 laps have been done. So that tells me the soft doesn't really, I mean, from what the drivers are reporting, certainly from my position here, it looked too early to get rid of it, but the drivers are reporting different things. So they're saying that the softs no good for any more than 8 laps. See Britsburger and Diablo go side by side. Britsburger's actually off the track, coming into the first Degner. What caused that? We will go back and have a look. Didn't actually see it because the camera angles I were given were absolutely trash. That damage that Diablo's got is affecting him, I think. Around the outside at Degner 1. Yeah, he got on the... there was no contact. Just around the outside of there is a very risky move, to be brutally honest, and it looked like he got on the grass in the braking zone as well, which would have unsettled the car. So not a lot of damage done for Britsburger, thankfully, but this medium one is starting to just wear the pace a little bit. They're not, the cars that are running the mediums and have run the mediums now for 18 minutes already showing signs that those tyres are not enjoying life. Leads me to believe we may see longer stints on hards. Someone who is making the medium compound tyre work is Phil G. He sets the second fastest lap in a row, and we've got yet more cars off. Who is that that's off the circuit? It's Slow Seamus. Slow Seamus was off the circuit. We've got Duco off as well. Duco's not having a great time. He's off at Spoon again. Board with this car, see if I can figure out what might be going on with it. It looked quite sorted in qualifying. So these cars don't go into any sort of park firmware conditions. They are eligible to change setups. Just yeah, the car just didn't want to turn in, and it was lucky to avoid a collision with another car there, which looked like it might have been D-Dot. We are starting to see a lot of the medium running cars in the pits now. D-Dot, Duco, both in the pits. Cutler has been on this set of tyres from the start, so is Diablo. So is Roving Island. And our Sonic Racer, he pitted earlier. What lap was it? Lap 5. And Rob Scott has already pitted as well. So yeah, we've seen. We're starting to see that evolution strategy now. So these guys that are on the mediums and have been in for the medium tyres are running faster than the guys at the front now. In some cases consistently. Diablo's really struggling with that car now. It is not wanting to work. Probably now, end of lap 10 is probably where these guys are looking to pit. Probably now onwards. Cutler doesn't pit. Diablo is going to dive into that pit lane though. So his pit stop's going to be a little bit longer as he'll need to repair some damage while he's in there. Now if you can look after your softs, you may want to try and do a 9 or a 10 lap stint on those softs towards the end of the race. We'll get there or thereabouts 25 laps out of this one. Maybe a little bit less, maybe 24, depending on how fast they're going. But yeah, you don't want to. I mean, I wouldn't expect people to run the hards for more than 5 laps. I'd expect the longest stint we'd see on hards is 5 laps. D-Dot's out on those hard tyres now, and you can just see how much he's struggling for grip. And that car is just not happy at all. Cutler then, out in P1. Medium's working well for him at the minute. I say that as he goes deep into the hairpin, but Cutler is someone who's really good at managing tyres. Roving Island done a very good job as well in that Honda. It's really, I mean, he's got same tyre wear as Cutler. So Roving Island doing a fantastic job so far. 9 seconds off the lead of the race. He just kept his nose clean so far. And our Sonic Racer's in a position to inherit the lead of the race here. He has been slowly reeling the cars ahead in. So once the cars ahead pit, he'll inherit that lead. Cutler's really stretching this medium stint. Because I believe, I don't know if this is right or not, but don't they have to run a minimum of 3 laps on the hard tyre? I've got a gut feeling that might be the case. I'm going to have a quick check. Yeah, must use all 3 sets within the race. Doesn't say anything about how long you've got to spend on each tyre. That might be in the rules, just not in this brief bit, so we'll see. If you don't have to spend that long on the hard tyre, then don't spend that long on the hard tyre. Probably what Cutler's doing now is probably trying to stretch this to a point where he can get away with a just running like a 1 or 2 lap stint on the hard. It's crazy, but it might work. I mean, he's losing time now on his medium stint, but if he loses less time on his hard stint, then he'll be in for a net win, surely. Right, we saw Sonic Racer in again, didn't we? So Sonic Racer's pitted, or has he? What happened to Sonic Racer? Did he have damage? So he pitted. I'm not sure why, because he's still on his medium tyres. So yeah, that's cost him 40 seconds, whatever that was that he's coming to do. We've got some overtaking happening then between Britsberger and Rob Scott. Britsberger, of course, now out on the soft compound tyre. That Aston Martin, as Rob Scott seems awfully compliant in letting that move happen. I think strategically they're on different strategies at the minute. Rob's not far away from a pit stop. Britsberger got about 50 kilos of fuel left on that car, done a 59.0. Duco's sat the fastest lap of the race now. He's on the soft tyre, 58.9, going even faster now as well. But the problem for Duco is a minute off the lead. Roving Ireland pits. Right, this is where this is going to get interesting. Cutler, I think, Cutler's got to really pit the end of this lap. Britzberger's 23 seconds back. A pit stop takes more time than that. So, when Cutler does pit, he'll come out behind Britzberger. Cutler probably will go onto the hard tyre. I've yet to see what his pit crew are doing, but I'm going to guess he's going to go on the hard tyre. So you might not see these guys directly racing, but that should all tie together towards the end of the race if all goes well for both teams. Rob Scott doing a grand job so far. He has run the hard, he's now running the medium. He has yet to run his fast compound tyre. Managing the mediums very nicely as well, I may say. So Rob Scott may be a bit of a dark horse in this one. Don't forget he had a qualifying ban, so not allowed to qualify. He started right at the back of this one. Diablo now on his hard compounds, another driver that yet has to take the very slippery, very grippy soft tyre. So again, another driver that should do very well towards the end of this one. Buddy, same for Buddy really. Towards the end of the race he'll be very fast because he's already used the hards, he's on the mediums now. So we'll wait and see what Buddy can do with this one. And I think Phil G's in the same bracket as Rob Scott, in that he's used all the hardest compound tyres already. His next pit stop is going to be taking the soft on. Lots to happen then, as we see Lucky Bucky and Roving Ireland battle it out on the hard compounds. So Cutler is in the pits, his pit crew are out. Look like a set of hards to me. Evening Darren, just stopping on by. Hope you are well. Hope you are feeling better. I know you were under the weather the other day. So Britzberger then is going to inherit the lead of the race. No two ways about it. Rob Scott will take second, but he's due his. He's going to have to do a long stint on those soft compound tyres. So he's going to have to really nurse those tyres as they come to lap a Jaguar. Diablo now out as well. What's happened to Cutler? Yeah, so as I thought, Cutler's out on the hards, so he's going to be a bit slower. He's actually filled up now. Cutler may be able to give me a bit more of an insight into why he's done that, but he's basically put a set of hards on, the less grippy tyre, and he's put 100 kilos of fuel in the car, which is only going to slow him down even more. If he's planning to do a short stint, which I'm fully expecting him to do, I would have only fuelled for that stint. You know what I mean? Because during that stint then your car's lighter and it'll help just recover a little bit of lap time. But who am I to doubt Cutler? He pulls out performances that I sometimes didn't really know were possible. So we've got a car off at the hairpin. And my track map's not telling me who. It's Gwyn. So Gwyn in the Jag. Just looks like he might be theoretically giving up on this. Oh yeah, the car just got away from him. Nice little drift though in the Jag. Fun fact about Gwyn, he's got that car in real life, not a GT3 one, but a V8 Jag F-Type. Beautiful car, beautiful car. There's a nice little battle going on between Quinn and Slow Seamus. So Mercedes, was it trying to have a little peek at the Audi then? No, the Audi trying to have a peek at Quinn. Unfortunately for Seamus, that Mercedes is quite a wide boy, so able to defend the position. Right then, so this is the part of the race, ladies and gents, where it all looks a bit upside down. We've got different strategies playing out. We've got drivers in parts of the track or track positions that they probably won't necessarily be in about another 10 minutes time. The stories we have are those that are on the medium and soft compounds are really trying to just stretch their stints. Most drivers now have already taken the hardest tyre if they're not on it right now, which means we should see a fast end to the race. In contention we have Britsberger, Cutler, Buddy, Diablo, probably to a degree Phil. Oh, maybe not. Phil as he's lost it coming into the second Degner. That was commentator's curse 101, that was. I just cut to him to say he had a chance at a good result, and the back end, he just lost the back end under braking. And unfortunately for Phil G, I mean, that's not a race finisher, don't get me wrong, but he's got a little bit of rear end damage on that car. Fortunately for Phil, he's not far away from a pit stop. But the Honda team are going to have to hurriedly come up with a fix for that, because once he pits he's going to need to get that repaired and keep himself in contention. But fortunately he's not dropped him miles out, is the saving grace, but a mistake that he will be regretting making, no doubt. I'm just going to stop cutting to Phil, because every time I cut to him I seem to give him bad luck. I think he's one of the ones that when I said I was quitting commentary he probably celebrated a little bit, because I've been nothing but a curse to the poor guy. Cutler's ran it wide at 130R. Side by side with the Sean of McLaren, the McLaren of Sean, who's now leapt himself up to 4th. Cutler, don't forget, on the hard tyre. He's just not got the grip. The tyre's just not as grippy, which again makes me wonder why he's filled it full of fuel. He's probably put about 70 kilos worth of weight in that car he doesn't need. Who's that off there? That looks to be D-Dot's car. It is D-Dot's car, another driver that's not having a great day of it. He just pitted as well. Oh, what a way to immediately flat spot your soft tyres. And unfortunately he's had to retire the car, so there was a car there with a bucket ton of damage on it. Who was it? Phil G's car's got a load of damage on it. I mean, he's been and got it fixed, but what happened to him? I've no way of knowing. Oh my, right. Well, this race is taking a very interesting turn. So, Britsberger on the soft tyre. Has he made that tyre work to the best of its advantage? We've got 17 minutes to find out. He's probably going to pit. I was going to say, I'd be surprised if he comes in now. He's got enough fuel to carry on, so he might as well. He has a little bit of an advantage over Diablo. Diablo, of course, running the hards now. He's yet to take that soft compound tyre on. In terms of fuel loads, pretty similar between the top 4, but very different in terms of tyres. McLaren of Sean and the Mercedes of Cutler continuing to battle away. Again, McLaren light on fuel, faster compounder tyre on board. On paper, should absolutely wipe that Mercedes out, but Cutler just able to manage, basically. What am I doing? Clicking the wrong button, that's what I'm doing. There's another 15 minutes remain of this one. We've got a lot to wrap up. One driver that is now going to the end of the race is Phil G. Unfortunately, he's now a minute 10 seconds off the lead of the race. Even when the leaders pit, they will still come out with 20-30 second advantage over the Honda driver, who may struggle to recoup that. we will see. I feel bad for Phil because, like I say, every time I go to the guy, he has a horrible bit of luck. So last round of pit stops then. Pit stop window's been open for a couple of laps. I would expect all the pit stops to cycle through really within the next couple of laps. So we've got a hive of activity about to happen. See the Aston Martin team out in the pits. There's a Ford team out there as well. Is that for Diablo? Or is that for Buddy? Or is that for both of them? Diablo on the hard tyre. He's in. Buddy, he may well choose to come in as well. He's got to take his softs. You can take those softs 15 minutes. Buddy is carrying on. So the full team out in the pit lane then was for Diablo. Cutler carries on. So does Sean. Lucky Bucky, he's carrying on as well. Roving Island probably pit now. Yep, he will indeed. Gwyn. Yeah, mate, it's one of them tracks, isn't it, man? Oh, it's an 8 minute long. That's a Mercedes pit stop, that is, mate. 8 minutes long. Yeah, it happens, mate. You said at the start, it's not your track's not your jam. It's one of them that the more you drive it, I think the more you do appreciate it is a good track. But it is a pain in the arse when you don't know it really well. And it takes a specific driving style to be fast here. Importantly, your trail braking needs to be on point to be fast at Suzuka. And I mean, you need to finesse the hell out of your trail braking to be fast at Suzuka. That and above the fact it's one of the more technical circuits as well. Rob's got very deep there. He's on the soft tyre though. Probably still warming that tyre up. Yeah, I get it. Salty. Don't be happy, you mate. Bloody hell, dude. Don't worry about it, man. Everyone has it. But if you'd have watched my race on Tuesday, that's the definition of just a bad race. I think everything I could have done wrong in my Tuesday night race I did wrong, and yeah, it's terrible. Terrible. So the second Ford team is out into the pit lane, and they're preparing to receive Buddy from the lead of the race. Mercedes team of Cutler's out as well. Now you see he's come in with 60 kilos of, so he only needed to take on 40 kilos. He's been running around with 60 kilos in his car that he didn't need. I don't know. So this then, ladies and gents, this is a genuine battle for end of race track position. Rob Scott on the soft compounder tyre. I was just getting in the way. Yeah, but who gives a crap? Still race, man. Still get some points. You're still in the race, aren't you? So just come out in a few minutes and grab some points. Points mean prizes. Has Rob Scott's, has he masterminded one of the strategic plays of the season here? He had a qualifying run. He started right at the back of the grid in a car that has no right absolutely no right to be fast at Suzuka, and he's I mean, he's got some fuel saving to do, don't get me wrong. He's got to short shift the hell out of this car for the next 10 minutes or what, but it's a tough one. I mean, he's still got 10 minutes, 5 laps to go? 5, maybe 6 laps. He's pulling away from British-Berg because British-Berg is on the hard now. Yeah, the hard compound tyre around here, it's worth 2 seconds a lap though, thereabouts. Alright, so British-Berg is going to really struggle to extract pace from that Aston Martin, and he will get caught by Diablo on the softs, and potentially Cutler as well. potentially Cutler. Rob Scott though, 1.6 seconds ahead as we close out lap number 20. He leads the race at the minute. Britzberger P2 on the hard compound tyre, a second and a half behind. Then you got Diablo 3.5 seconds behind Britzberger, but running the soft compound tyre, has just set the fastest lap of the race as well. That Mustang now is starting to sing in the hands of the Australian, 58.9 for him. Cutler in the Mercedes is about he's 5 seconds back from Diablo, so he's got some work to do if he wants to extract this. He may have stayed on the mediums a bit too long. Who knows, who knows. Then Buddy, P5 for Buddy. Yeah, can he catch Cutler or not? I'm not sure. It's all about where Britzberger ends up. Then you got a big battle here for P6. It's Sean on the hard compound tyre versus Sonic Racer on the soft. Has Sonic Racer already used a set of soft tyres? We may have to go and check that. I am not sure. I am not sure, you know. It's made me question my own sanity now. I'm not sure, he might have done. I'm sure there was a car at the start that was running the softs, and I just questioned it at the time, and I've got a gut feeling it might have been Sonic Racers. Oh, there's a bit of contact there between Sonic Racer and Sean at the apex of Degner 2. Sean not happy about that, flashing on the lights in the McLaren there. He's coming under pressure now from Phil G as well. And Phil able just to launch one down the inside. We all go back and have a look at that. It did look like there was a little bit of side-by-side contact. Yeah, there was a little bit of contact. I think Sean managed to regain control of it, which is potentially why Sonic Racer didn't feel they need to hold on. But Sean on those hard compound tyres is just a bit of a sitting duck with these guys now, because these guys are on the softs. Do go out on the hards. Unfortunately, he's going to struggle to crack the top 10 in this race. He's had 1 too many excursions into the runoff area. Right, Diablo has negotiated his way past Britzberger now. Sonic started on softs. I thought he did. So was he? Did they stash a set of softs in the garage then? See, they only get given one of each. Right, Diablo versus Rob Scott. It's the All-American battle for the lead of the race. I'll be honest, Britzberger's only going to fall back now because he's on the hard tyre. He's technically out of the top 2 battle. He could still retain a podium position. That being said, he has to fight off Cutler, who's in a Mercedes with a soft tyre. It's going to be a hard effort for Britzberger to maintain the podium spot. So the battle then between the two Americas, 5 seconds between them. 7 minutes remain. In terms of fuel levels, pretty similar. Rob Scott maybe has to do a little bit of saving, but similar levels between the two cars. Buddy, can he catch up to anyone? Not too sure. Diablo's just nabbed the fastest lap of the race though. 58.9. Oh, we've got Lucky Bucky and Sean battling away. Let's have a look. So again, through the Dagners. Lucky Bucky's soft and sticky Mercedes versus the very slippery McLaren on the hards. The McLaren goes deep. Sean gets a good exit though in the McLaren. He tidies that up. Which means Lucky Bucky's got to go the long way around if he wants to get that move done. And for the time being, the McLaren retains its position. Duca down in 11th then. Yeah, on the hard. It's going to be a bit of a lonely close out to the race for him. Gwyn back out, drifting it round turn 2. Picking up a little bit of damage in the process. But good to see that car back out on track. It'll at least finish the race and grab some points. update on the battle for P1. In the last lap, Diablo's taken about half a second out of Rob Scott, maybe more actually, looking at the split and sector times. Diablo's just got a little bit better tyres. Not a lot, but just a tiny. They're just looking in better shape. 59.2, that was 59.6 last lap for Rob. Yeah, so I mean, it might be close, but if Diablo's gonna get near him, he needs to be taking more time out of the Chevrolet. I don't know. He's now down to 4.5 seconds. Yeah, so Diablo is gaining on him. Gritzberger down to 4th, then Cutler had caught him and overtaken him. Cutler now holding the fastest up of the race with a 58.4. So these lead cars on the soft tyres now really starting to sing. The top 3 cars all saved their soft compound tyres till the end of the race, and are all now reaping the rewards of such a feat. Buddy versus Gritzberger. We have 2, maybe 3 laps left of this one. I'll be honest, I don't think Buddy's going fast enough to catch the Aston Martin. Needs to be taking more time of it out of him than that. Phil G could still pick up a result. He could still pass Sonic Racer. We've seen the NSX's pace in the hands of Phil. And versus Sonic Racer, who is at the minute doing pretty decent times. The battle between Sean and Lucky Bucky. That one rages on. I'm massively impressed at how Sean's holding off the Mercedes. Almost to an unprecedented level. You see just how much more Lucky Bucky's having to back out of moves here all the time. The Mercedes is just able to go faster. But Sean's doing such a good job of defending his position, the Mercedes is just struggling to get a move made. He's going to have to hold off, and he's got Roving Islands joining the party as well. So Roving Island looking deliciously at these positions, thinking he could pick a couple up. Update on the battle between the top 2. I'm afraid Diablo is not getting any closer to him. In fact, he must have made a mistake that lap, Diablo, because he's dropped a ton of time this lap. Cutler has caught him right up. And Cutler now with a potential shot at a podium position here. So looking at about 2 minutes a lap. So yeah, this is the penultimate lap for these guys. They're going to have one more after this. Gritzberger's going to hit the line in time as well. So will Buddy, Sonic Racer and Phil though. For these guys it'll be touch and go as to whether they get another lap after this one. It will be very, very close. I'd imagine Sonic Racer probably will. Phil probably won't. Sean and Lucky Bucky. Oh, Lucky Bucky gets that move made on the outside of Casio Triangle. He gets that done. Side by side through the Casio Triangle. Mercedes, just with its superior grip, just drives around the outside. That is grip explained, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Scott been given a little bit of a lifeline in the form of Cutler, who is now able to attack the Mustang. The Mustang has used up its tyres, trying to catch the Chevrolet in front. Means Diablo's burned his tyres up a little bit, and yeah, he's now got Cutler to worry about. Cutler's all over him like a fat kid on a cupcake, I'm afraid. So can the Australian hold on for a result here? Time will tell. Very good exit out of Spoon then for Cutler. And the tyres on the Mercedes just looking in better shape. And they are coming up to lap a car as well. That's the Mercedes of Quinn up ahead. Does get out of the way. These two still fighting. Britzberger looks set for fourth. Buddy might have to just have a little bit of fear about his fuel situation. So yeah, the top driver's going to get another lap in. Side by side for Cutler and Diablo. Can Cutler swing it around the outside? Yes, he can. Lovely move by Cutler. Lovely move indeed by the Mercedes driver. We've got 5 seconds left. Is Sonic Racer going to make it in time for another lap? He is indeed. So he's solidified at least P6. Phil G from the back of the grid, P7. He might be disappointed at that, knowing Phil. Lucky Bucky just about victorious after a long fight with Sean and the McLaren. Sean P9 for him. Roving Islands after missing Red Bull last week. Just about surviving ahead of the Mercedes of Duco, the championship leader. So Duco in that one finishes in 11th. A bit of another torrid race for the Mercedes outfit. Slow Seamus in at 12th with Quinn 13th. We saw him getting lapped a moment ago. He's got engine damage. That's why he's fallen down. And then Gwyn, a couple of laps down, unfortunately for Gwyn. Nothing doing in the top fight. No likely moves to be made. Just keeping an eye on the track map for any potential track excursions and incidents and stuff like that. But so far it all looks relatively in order, as Britzberger has got past Cutler. What happened there? Cutler just looked like he might have had an off at Spoon. He did have an off at Spoon. So Rob Scott wins the race. Great. I'm going to talk about that afterwards. Diablo P2. Britzberger in the end did get past Cutler. I want to find out what happened to Cutler. P4 for Cutler. Buddy is going to close out in 5th, and the last classified finisher, Sonic Racer, got over the line in time to start his 26th lap. So Rob Scott's your winner, ladies and gents. We should have this race closed down in just a moment. I'm going to come back to that, but what happened to Cutler? What happened? That last lap at 2:11.3. Yeah, it was. He looked nailed on. Turn the keyboard off. I'm going to ask Cutler what happened. He won't thank me for asking that, but I'm going to ask it. Let's save the replay for the thumbnail. Let's have a little bit of a summary of the results, which are now on your screen. So as you can see, sponsored by Dairy Milk. Rob Scott. What a drive by the Chevrolet. Qualifying band started at the back of the grid, started on the hard tyres, managed those beautifully at the start, did a really long medium stint, but I think the timing of his pit stops was one of the keys to success for him. He timed his pit stops really nicely, like he wasn't caught in other people's crap. And that helped him save a little bit of time. Great race for Rob Scott. Let's see if Cutler's replied to me. Ran out of talent. Never. It's not going to happen. Rob Scott, Diablo and Britzberger. Let's congratulate him. Where's Rob? Has he gone already? No, he's there. There you go. Have a congrats. Yeah, Phil, should be happy with that. I'm sorry our commentators cursed you at Degner's, mate. I literally flicked to your car just as you went on the grass. Always seems to happen, doesn't it? I always cut to you, and then you have some sort of catastrophe happen in your life. I have that effect on people. Get that on charge. So yeah, that's round 7 done and dusted. Round 8 next. We are coming towards the business end of the season. I'll try and get on a little bit earlier again next week so we can go through the points and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, of course, that's been round 7. So a few things and then we'll close out. So obviously this is all sponsored by Team Oliver Racing. Go and check them out on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a link in the description below that you can go and click. There's also going to be links in there to Mature Racing Club. There will be a link to Dark Smoker's stream of the same race in the Pro Lobby, so you can go and have a look at that. I encourage you to, because the Pro Lobby normally has some really good racing in there as well. And last but by no means least, there will be links and pointers and encouragement for you to go and check out We Are Driven on Facebook. It's just a group. If you've got a Facebook account, head over, subscribe to the group, and it will just keep you updated on what we're doing. I say we like I'm a fundamental part of it, what they're doing. They'll keep you in the loop about it in terms of what charities they're working for, and it's not somewhere where you'll be constantly bombarded with donate £100 million to this charity now. It's sometimes, look, it's we want to raise awareness for this. Can you share this? Like, you know, just get involved with the streams that go on, and then if you share those, then by proxy we'll get more people looking at it, and that will naturally lead to A, more awareness, and B, potentially more funds for the charities as well. So, you know, it all works, and it's, if you haven't got the money to spare, trust me, sharing the stuff and just getting involved in it's equally as beneficial for the organisations that we're doing it. Of course, this one's all we're currently focusing on Archie's journey. He's closing in on his target to get his treatment in America. I don't think he's a million miles away from it, so if you do want to go and check it out, see whereabouts he is on his progress, obviously read up on the story, and potentially even as well make a donation towards it, you can go and find it all on the Facebook page. And yeah, that's it from me. So thank you for tuning in. As always, we'll be back next Wednesday night for round 8. Until then, take care in whatever you do, enjoy whatever you do, and I'll see you next week. Bye now.